Welcome to the Grand Design Series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 12th of July 1986, which I think is about 3 or 4 months on from the end of the last part. And you can see our population now is topped at 91,500. Now in this part, what I want to do is shift the focus up to the top left hand corner of the map for two reasons. One, it's been a little bit neglected because of I've been very much focused on the bottom part of the map, but also this area is starting to develop a number of critical issues which I need to address before they get completely out of control. But before that, I just need to give you two things. Is first, I need to do my regular annual check of my crop production, because this is key to driving my economy. And then I'm going to give you an update of the vehicle production area, which I was working on in the last part, because there's been a few changes. First things first, let's just get into checking the silos here. And this one is bound to be empty. This one is empty. This one has still got some crops in. But I think what's actually coming into here is import crops, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. Of course, we've got this in full production now, which means this is being kept busy. And I think the crops in here is now coming from this area here, because we can see we got the guys in full production. Over here, this is nearly still full, which is good. Especially, we've got crops here. Close, sorry. Let me just come to this one. Yeah, this one's got a surplus. So this is a surplus area, which we may need to tap into. Over here, I would guess that these are empty. Yep, that one's empty. This one's empty. This one's got 782 tons of crops left. Now, what I've done here is I haven't actually shut down the bakery. But what I have done is I've moved the food consumption from this area to here. So at the moment, the bakery is acting as a kind of reserve, because I've also suspended all the exports from this area as well. So the only area of things that's being produced here really is alcohol and clothes. The reason I did that is that I want to release the workforce, but at the same time I don't want the unemployment to be too high. So at the moment these guys are just coming in and sitting around waiting for production. This area here, this will be empty, and well, this is empty. Now I don't think it's a major issue, because I think we've still got, we are burning through the livestock here, which isn't such a bad thing. As long as we've got 300, so our meat production needs some crops, and of course what we've got over here, which is probably more important, we've got 3,000. So you can see here that our crop production is now getting quite marginal. Now the next thing I want to talk about, and I apologize in advance because this can become a little bit of a rabbit hole, and it's something that I haven't really talked about in this series so far, because truthfully what I'm going to be doing now is something you don't really need to worry about until your economy gets, say, over 20,000-30,000. But even then it's more of a spot check than anything else. And this is in a couple of extra screens in the economy screen. The first one is the domestic production. What this does is it gives you an ability to look at an overall of what you are producing. Now I'm going to pause the game because the numbers will go up very quickly, especially with this economy here. And what you'll see is this is the consumption of resources by industry. And the one I'm interested in is here. And you can see this is by month, but you can see in this month, my crop production by industry was, say, about 650 towards 700. If you come here, it'll tell you exactly 672 tons per month between the 11th and the 15th. In fact, that hasn't reached that month, so we really need to go back 1 month so we get a whole month here. And what you'll see here is that means we're roughly consuming around 800 tons of crops per month. And of course, if you go back to this month and then flip back a year, what this will tell you is in 1986 so far, we've consumed 5,823 tons of crops between the 6th of June 1986 and July. So it's slightly over. But what you can see here is what your average consumption is per month. And you can do this for everything, but for industry. But of course, this one we're looking at crops. So that gives you an idea of how much crops you are consuming per month. Now, I'll give a bit more detail about that, but the other thing you can also do is look at what you're actually pulling in for construction here. Now, the interesting thing about the construction is, say, for example, you look at steel, and you can see that we're using about 400 to 500 tons of steel, but it fluctuates over time. And this is what you can look at is your surplus, especially, or where your costs are in construction. Then down here you can see more importantly what your citizens are doing. Now what you can see here is that if we click on food, you can see so far this year we've consumed 1,234 tons of food. Now in the previous year was 797. That's between the 5th of May. No, is this monthly? You've got to be a bit careful here because it will reset. That's a bit better. Yeah. So so far this year, we've consumed about 6,000 tons of crops. And then you see the previous year was 5,900. So now bear in mind, this is a year to year on the date, not the date up there. So we're consuming roughly about 6,000 tons of food. Now, and then if you actually look at the meat, you can see it's 1,200 or 1,300 tons of meat and 200 tons of clothes. Now the reason I'm kind of pointing this out is the fact that you can then, if you know you've got to produce 200 tons of crops per year, then if you come to say the factory here, you can add this up together. So at the moment we're producing 1.2 there near back, so that's 2.4. That's just round it down, say 2. So what is kind of illustrating is that you can do the math, and this is why I say this can be a bit of a rabbit hole. You can do the math to say, yes, I'm producing enough clothes across the map, but another way you can look at it is, and this is where it gets really kind of a bit kind of openly scary, is that you can now look at your resources per a profile for the whole year. So if we go back to crops, what you will see here is this is the profile from the 1st of August 1985 to the 15th of July. So it's slightly less than a year. And across the bottom, you've got red where you're importing, green where you got production, darker green for export, and the yellow it shows the monthly consumption of the crops. So you can see what we've got here is the big spike, which if you can go in here and actually tell you how much is being produced. So in August last year, we harvested 21,000 tons of crops, which were then moved on. But you can see the harvest cycle finished in December. And then these little spikes here shows this area here. So you can see this area here is producing just under 2,000 tons a month. And this then tapers off. And you can see what you can see here is once we get into the period around June, we're starting to import crops to supplement what our food industry. And you can also see what your income here is as well. But of course, another thing you can see here, which is bad news, which is the electronics here as well. You can see it actually breaking down how much electronics you're importing, how much your citizens are producing. You can see I've got a very tiny production of electronics, which fluctuates. This is the result of my vehicle, these buildings here. this kind of process for these horse veterinarians. So I've got a tiny amount of electronics, but what you can see here is quite literally the your overall production of fuel. And you see we've got a little bit of import. Now that import is actually from the top left hand corner, but this gives you an idea that you can actually get your profile. And if you're really interested, what you can do is push this all the way back to the start of your game, so you can see how the profiles build up. Now, as I said, don't get too much into the weeds with this. You're really looking at the fact what you've got here. The other thing I want to show you is if we find the electronics again. This is electronics price, but if I push this back to, we'll push it back to 1960, because this is where you can, once you've got a game that's been running for some time, what you can see is the price fluctuation. Now you see there the sell and buy curve rises steadily across the game. Now this is for virtually most things that you are doing, because that represents the annual inflation, because this game does have inflation in it, and you can see the way it actually goes. But if you get something where you do a lot of exporting, what do we export a lot of? Trying to think. Nuclear fuel, wastewater, because what you can see is the flood oil. I'm trying to think what. Let me just go up like that. What I'm trying to find is, it seems like I've got, oh, this is probably biological waste. You can see the price fluctuates. Actually, where's the explosives? No. Here it is. Fertilizer. What you see here is a price fluctuation. Now that's down to the fact that I export. In fact, if we go back to import export, let's just see what my biggest export is. Nuclear fuel and bitumen. Right, so if we come back to it, you can see I'm already getting into the weeds with this. Find the bitumen. Actually, that's held up quite well, actually. If we push back, if I go back to 1954, that's actually held up quite well. So I was expecting, because what can happen is that if you export excess amounts of goods, the price can drop. And if you import too much as well, you can increase the price, because there's a mechanic within the game that represents supply and demand. So say, for example, you're importing really large amounts of, say, an item like iron or coal or something like that, the price will rise. Okay, I've spent a little bit longer on that than I planned. Now, what I'm going to do here is just talk very quickly about what's been going on in this area. Now, I need the focus at the moment is trying to get this area operational for two reasons. One, I want this serviced with there, and I've actually put in a wind turbine here to provide power to this, because I want to give fire support to this area, because this is a lot of building, and to get a lot of this stuff operational, we're going to have to build it, and it's going to have to stand. And if it's standing alone, what will happen is there's a risk of fire. So I want to get this fire station operational. In fact, there's a very real risk that the fire station will get burnt down. So this port is going to become quite important, especially as I want this grain store put together. Oh, I've missed that bit there. Let me just get some of these built. I didn't notice that these were kind of okay. Oops, I've gone too far. What I'm doing at the moment is using the local helicopter crews to get this going. Right, so we've now got this going here. Now if you watch the previous part, you'll see that this has changed quite dramatically, and it's took me about 2 hours of planning and thinking, tearing things down to get this done. And I did record it, but then I started to edit it, and there was a lot of and ahhing and me getting a little bit frustrated. So I thought, well, I'm not going to show it to you guys. So I thought I'd take this down, because what happened was, is the more I thought about what I needed to provide in this area, the more complicated it got. So to give you an idea, the core is exactly the same as the last part, where we put the core in. The only change is I moved these apart to put in a cargo shed here. Then I thought a little bit about getting the steel in, and if any of you have been following my series, you know I'm very averse to swarms of trucks. So in the end, I've opted to put in a couple of drop-off points here for steel, and I've also put in, I think it's here, an open store. Now this open store is going to serve two roles. One, it's going to supply steel to these buildings here, but more importantly, eventually we're going to put in a couple of construction offices, because I realized that I'm going to need to be able to kind of provide construction for all the buildings in this area. So that's something else I wanted to work. Then I'm trying to go through the process of what I did. I sorted this area out with that, and then I sorted this steel mill out, did the rail tracks here. I dropped the idea of a circular track for a single track, because I suddenly realized that if I'm supplying the steel here, the only thing that needs to come in and out of here is the trains that we've produced. That then led into thinking about depots. So what I've got here is 2 train depots, because it suddenly occurred to me it's no point having one, because there's problems telling the trains that you want to move exactly how you want to move. Actually, I've just spotted a bit of road. I think we can put you there. Yeah. That built as well. Yep, so I built this depot, and then that led on to thinking about this line. This is the passenger line up to here. And originally I was just going to put a rail connection through here. Then it occurred to me that if I build a depot out here, I can all the train sets I need to replace train sets that are worn out can also be stored in here. And that will kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because this will be directly connected to this line, and then some can be moved over to the other depot, which is over here for the train sets. No, it's not. It's up over here. Sorry. So I've got 2 depots for that, for the train sets, and possibly even trams. So that then led into starting to think about the ancillary services that are around, and I suddenly realised that to be able to service this port and this, I'm going to need what we call it, distribution offices. So I put 2 distribution offices in here, and then of course it then bled into waste, and how was I going to do it? Now, part of the problem I've got with respect to waste is the fact that I don't know what would be wasted to actually be produced from these. Now, so what I've done is I've put a transfer shed in here so that we can do a little bit of separation. And what we're going to do is see what we can get from these various buildings that are around, because most of the waste will come from the actual rail construction. So in theory, we shouldn't get too much waste. And I want to emphasize the word theory there. What's that there? Cargo substation. I think we'll just work a mud road into there. We don't really need massive, and just save a little bit of time. So that would be built in there. The next thing I was thinking about was that for the first time, what I'm going to do is put the water supply in. So I managed to get in the sewage processing there. If I put you underneath, show underneath here, I've put in the water supply. And then what I've decided to do, and I decided to put the water filtration plant here. This is a big water supply one, and it's going to need chemicals. So this is why we got this little warehouse in here. Well, one of the reasons. And it occurred to me that I can use the surplus water from here to feed the town up here. Ooh. And then I think if you watch the previous part, you'll be aware that I was considering manufacturing the fabric. And I finally decided that I will manufacture the factory here. So what we've got is a linen factory here and a logging crew here. And so what we're going to do is bring crops into here, probably from the port. And then what we'll get is we'll produce a fabric from the Tudor linen factory. And I'm kind of assuming that this will produce all the fabric for not just the vehicle production, but also for the, where is it? The repair bay here, and also probably for the necessary repair bays up here, and also over this way. No, because this one doesn't have it. Anyway, so that is the current situation. You can see we got a phenomenal amount of stuff to build, but I do need to shift the focus up north. But before we do that, there's one thing I do need to change, and this spins off from what I was talking about with respect to I was talking about the fact that we're now in 1986 and we've now got glasnost. Now what I want to do is we're producing bauxite here, and let me just see, where is it? I think it's somewhere up around here. What I want to do is I've now got this line into here, and what I want to do is change this. We've got all the kind of marshalling yards here, which we're going to need later on, because this is going to be our primary export point for goods to the west that don't go by ship. But what I want to do is start bringing the bauxite up here and selling the bauxite, because we've only got 19 million. And what I'm thinking is that I may need to buy Western goods to keep this area alive in the short term. The other reason that I bought the bauxite up here is if I click here, you'll see that we've got bauxite mines up here. And I was looking at this area. So what I'm thinking is that we can eventually bring the bauxite up here, get some aluminium production going here. And this area is flat enough, especially once we've done a little bit of leveling out, to build some aircraft production up here. Although, to be honest, I'm not a great fan of aircraft production. In fact, I think beyond doing kind of testing, I've never built a serious aircraft production process ever since I've been playing the game, to be honest. Mainly because by the time I get to the point where aircraft production is necessary, I tend to get to a point where I'm thinking, well, I might as well just buy them. But so hopefully we'll be able to get that going. Now up here, there's been a couple of other main changes which I've done to save a little bit of time. One thing I have done is I've now planned my asphalt plant here. I've run the pipeline all the way over and it's still being built, but it's not important because we need to get this area here. I've reworked the railway here simply because it was very untidy, so we've done the railway through here. I've put in a rail distribution office here, mainly because it's the only place I could put one in. I'm thinking about putting another one down here, but it's not quite so important, because what I need to do now is start thinking about getting this oil field online. Now I have got planned the power supply here. Train waiting too long. Okay, we're just going to go and take a look at this. Yeah, I think that's the bauxite train anyway. Now this area here is getting a little bit busy. We need to import oil. What have we got here? You're exporting my nuclear waste. Not nuclear waste, nuclear fuel. Well, you might be able to export nuclear fuel to the west, but I'm not particularly that worried about that at the moment. Anyway, back up to here. So what we've got here now, what I want to do in this part is well, there's several things I need to do up here. One, we've got to put in a tram network to get up to here, because at the moment we've got no workers here. We're also going to need to put a fire station here. Cover this. I'm thinking plastics industry over here, because the plastics industry, if we come into fossil fuels, all the plastic industry needs chemicals and it needs oil. Now, we can produce chemicals up here, but we would need the resources to do it. We've got the gravel, we got the wood, we would have the oil. The problem's going to be crops, but we can bring the crops in from here because there's no point, because we built a silo here. So what I'm thinking in this corner is a plastics industry, some chemical industry as well in this area. And that, for that reason, we're going to be using trams here. But now there's one other thing I need to address, because if I come over to here, you'll see that this area here is becoming overloaded. This is the reason why I really need to focus a little bit on this area, because I've realized that I've neglected the waste here as well. And the other thing I've also done is I've put in a rail line round here. This is more long-term planning, so that what we can do is use this area here for exports again to the Soviet Republic. So that is the current situation. Now, the first thing I need to address is we've got an open store here. Now, what I want to do is come here, because the first thing we're going to need to do is deal with the waste. And what I want to do is we're going to come in here, type transfer. Can't spell transfer. And what I want to do is put in a big one of these. Now, in the short term, this isn't going to be that useful, because of course at the moment this area isn't that busy, but it will get busier. So what we're going to do is because this line is very overworked, it could develop problems. I mean, to be honest, if it does develop problems, we'll just have to readjust our plans. So we're going to put that in there. Now, eventually we'll probably need to put some more kind of waste management here, but this should work for this area. What I need to do now is think a little bit about what we want to do over here. Now, I am going to put, oops. So what I want to do is get the trams in here. We're going to start by pushing out this road out in template mode, because what I would like to do is we're going to run the trams out to there, and what I'm thinking is if we come to, oh, of course it's not rail, it's road. Sorry about that. I'm going to put a large tram depot there. So I want to put one roughly in the center. This is not wide enough for two. And we're going to put one in the center here. We will put an asphalt footpath to, actually no, we'll put an asphalt footpath to there. And then we will run a you into there like that. You into there like that. So we'll have a tram pickup point there. Now, kind of, we've got, this will pick up most of the people from there. And I think at the moment, what I'm thinking is a single tram pickup point, but at the same time, I'd like to have a circulatory system here, although to be honest, it's going to need an end station. But I think what I am going to do is we've got a few buildings here, but what I'm going to do is plan some more. I'm going to put in a couple of these along here. I don't want to put too many in because I don't want to repeat the mistakes of the last place. If I put in, luckily we won't get annoying helicopter crews picking up. And we'll go 1, 2, 3 there. Like that. I'm going to extend the road out this way again. Now we can have, now this is going to be more of a one-way tram system. So the question is, if I put in, no, we could have a two-way tram system, couldn't we? We could pick up, yeah, I think, so if we put in, I mean, we don't have to use it anyway, so let me just see, if we find a, don't want a tram depot, we want a, we're going to do exactly the same on this side, like that. We'll leave plenty of space for the thingy here. Oops, I don't want that. We can leave that in connection a little while, but we will put you there, you there. Also, we'll have to upgrade you there, you to there, you to there. So basically, we're just going to pick up all the tram workers from here. Now, what I'm trying to think of a straight line. What we might as well put the tram drop off here. Now, this road's going to be busy, so I don't want the actual. What I want to do is kind of isolate the tram from the area where it's going to be working. So what we're going to do, although part of me says come in like that, I think what we'll do is no, I don't want that. Actually, we'll put it this way so we can have separate, yeah, we'll put the tram line like that. And then I will bring a road off here, a normal road, to here, just in case we need to build something in there. Oops. You too steep, okay. That means we got a, okay, cancel that. Move you. This is where I find out I can't level now. No, yep, no bulldozer. Okay, we're gonna have to put the, keep clicking rail for some reason. We'll put you there like that. Okay, I'll put you there. Actually, no, I want the road like that because I want this self-contained. For two reasons. I don't want the vehicles coming down this way. Trammed. I think we're just going to isolate this completely. So what I need to do is we can run this as an exclusive line like this. You've got to get, so we're literally talking about coming in this area, aren't we? No, I think we come here, run this here. This is going to use prefab, so it will cut down on our costs for thing. I think what we'll do is once I get a little bit closer. We may need to, and then we're going to change to, actually I think if we come in like that, so what that will do is it will give us a part asphalt road, and then all the rest of this can be built as prefab, right? This will come up into this area here, and then what we're going to need here is a end station. Wow. Right, this might need a little bit of we'll put an end station there. Now the reason I would like to put an end station in is that okay, we've got to put you there, and then of course we'll have to build this in here, and we can put asphalt after there, and then what that will mean is that we can go there. It'll also mean that when we come to put the plastics industry, and we can branch off here, hopefully by then we'll have someone to level with, and we can run the workforce up into there on a separate tram route. So we've now got this area built. Now comes the fun bit, because what we need is I'm going to need a tram depot, and I'd like to put it here next to the repair bay. In fact, I think what I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring this road out on the grid pattern like that. Thinking game. Right, that there. We will try tram link there. We will put the tram depot tram end station. Where's the, it's an end station. Where's the tram depot then? There is tram depot ×8. Okay, this one's, I have to try and make you go green because, oh, this one's in range. Now I want the tram depot to be there, and then you're going to connect, you're going to have to connect to there, there, like that. That one's already done. Right, so we've got that there now. The next thing is we're going to need a, where is it? We need a tram to railroad connection. Kind of what I think it'd be cheaper and quicker to build the actual tram connection. So if I put you about there, because that's in range of the, now this doesn't need to be this is just going to be a straight spur, so there's no point kind of two-staging it, because these will come here. That means I've now got to put in another link here like that. These lines are in use, so now this isn't going to be used that much, and then to save some money we're now when we first put this together, we are going to this track here won't be that useful. This is being put in more for when the time comes to actually automatically replace the trams, because then the trams can come up here and come out. When we first set this up, we're going to have to buy the trams and then ship them in by the truck to the depot here. So we've now got our tram line here running. So we've now got this kind of functional. Now, just to show you what's going on over here, it's mainly the power supplies that we're trying to get into here. I think we're getting to a point now where we might need the swarm in. I think we're start to build that so that we can start producing some oil. We're certainly going to need that and that. We are going to need a fire station here. And my instinct is to put a full size one in, because this is going to be quite a valuable asset. Yeah, I think we'll put a full size fire station in. I'll put you about there. And we'll just hook you up with a mud road. Okay, so we've now got this area put together. We've got spare capacity in this area as well. It's going to let the game run faster now. So we planned this area here. We've got this lot all set up, but we will worry about that later on. In fact, I think I just want to check something. I think we're going to put a footpath through there, but we can't build it to begin with. In fact, I think what we'll do is put a footpath to there. That should bring these all in range of there. That will connect the two stations together. I know they're very close together, but eventually what we'll probably have is one going to there and this one going to there and this one going to our plastics industry, which will be out here. What's the terrain like here? I'd like to do a little bit more leveling here before I plan the plastics industry. I think what we're going to do now is go into kind of maintenance mode here now. I've got technical services here. I'm not exactly sure why. I think it's more snow clearance. What other technical? This is our waste services. At the moment it's just picking up hazardous waste and all that. Yeah, I think what we're going to do you have power? Yes, you do. We're going to rename you Snow Clear. Oops. Can't spell clear. Yeah, so what we're going to do is buy snow plows. We're going to bring in I think these are the best we've got at the moment. Let's just have a look. See, this has got a ploughing speed of 50. They're very expensive, but they've got, I mean, these snow plows have got a top speed of 92, but their ploughing speed is only 32. I think 43, 60. See, this one's, in some ways, this one is better than this one, but we are standardizing on this one, so this is going to hurt. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The problem's going to be is that where these are going to come from, because this area over here is always permanently. Oh, okay, so they're starting to come out straight away. They're just going to cause a bit more problems here. One other thing I'm thinking about here, actually, yeah, I've forgotten about this, but I do want to see is I need a rail construction office to speed up the construction in this area. How far can you walk? Oh, actually, just had an idea. maybe this wasn't such a good idea. um, yeah, it's only a rail construction office. Yeah, if I put, we can bring stuff across from here. Yeah, we could make this work. If we put it within walking distance of these, say for example, rail construction office. I don't really want to go the full 8 because this is only going to be more for because we're going to have to bring see, if I put it over here, it would have more access to the local resources, but it won't have access to a workforce, and workforce is more important than resources. Okay, right, let's have a little bit of a change here. You haven't been picked up yet. No, good. Okay, change you. I'm gonna put in cancel. Don't want that. You can come to there, which would come to there. Then we can put in the rail construction office here. I'm not exactly sure why there's 2 of these, but that needs a lot more bricks. This one, I think this is an historic one, isn't it? Yeah, what you don't need you there. We'll just put a mud road into there. We'll get you. Okay. All right. I need the swarm up here. Working on that and that. That one's not so important, but I want this reasonably high priority. And then you can build this. And then what we will do is I'm going to build wood-based because we're going to got to import the steel. So okay, let's just try and squeeze you through here. I'm making this even more messy than it already is. This isn't okay. I'm going to put you into there. Okay, why won't you connect to there? What's up with this? Is it too steep? We'll trim you back further. Okay. Trim you there. Oops. Slip of the finger there. So we'll put these in like that. Put the crossover back here, so we got plenty of room. So this is more of a quick fix type solution. So we need this built in here. I suppose what I could do. Yeah, we could do that. Although this is now being split, so no, we can build it. Right, let me just see if any of my active train crews are got nothing to do. Well, we can queue it up actually. Let me just find it over here. Okay, right. Whoops. What I want to do is, that's because we are in this section here. So we're going to have to change the, that's there, that's there. This one we'll have to cut. Oh no, we can come in here, build up through, no, it's a bit tight. Yeah, we can build up through here and then come back. So we can build in through here, get this done, build this through into here. And then that will run. Yeah, I think that will work. Mark that as high priority. Because this will interfere with this. Now, something else I've been considering is that if the alcohol pressure comes too high, what we will do is, all right, this gas station is no longer required. You can remove that from there. Oh, yeah, you need to get in here. The trains do a little bit of a dance in this area. Because they're trying to come in here, train waiting too long. I can always guarantee I know where that is. Yep. Because they're all working in this area here. And is that, why is that saying that that's not connected? Because that's connected. Okay. Right, I thought I'd actually electrified this, so. Although I'm not sure why that. We're going to need this built. I'm not exactly sure why this is not. I mean, it should be connected. This is electrified. It should flow up to here, unless it's. Don't understand that, because that is connected, and trains have gone through there. Okay, right. Let's just get over to Stilton. We're on the 6th of August. Building on fire. Where's that? Okay, it's gone the right way. Well, what have we got here? Okay, I think we've got a renewal. Rotherton. Okay, the fire. We've got a bit of a renewal program needed there, so we're just going to come here. We'll just check the trains in here. Okay, you're down to 3. Where's that bit of track that I've just put in? I want this done ASAP. And that's now finished. Let me just check. Okay, let me just put you there. You there. Has this been electrified? Whoops, down too far. Let me see. No, this bit of track here needs to be electrified. What I'm trying to do is get this kind of sorted as and when we go. So, because it's this area that's the priority at the moment. So the trains are moving through here. Right, let's just deal with this here, because we've got some very old Amoco snowplows in, and this is a good time to actually get rid of these guys and then put in a whole fleet of modern, what we call it. You can go up to here. Right. Let's let the game run. We're going to place the whole lot here. I just noticed we've got 2 helicopters in here for scrapping. We need to keep an eye on that as well. Obviously my helicopter fleet is aging. Just get rid of all you. No. This is all part of my overall modernization program. I'll talk about that in a little while. We've got, I think we've got 1 here, which is probably already accumulating. Oh, it's not accumulating a lot of. And then what we're going to do is spend another fortune. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Replace all you. Now, the reason why I'm aggressively replacing those snowplows, because you can see that snowplows take a long time to age out and need repair. The reason for that is that it's all part of my overall standardization platform process. As you can see, we've still got quite a lot of old ones still around, but as I spot them, I'll say, for example, we can probably go to here. Yeah, you can see we've got a whole fleet here as well, which will need replacing. I mean, it's up here. I mean, these are from the good old days of back down. What I'll do is, I don't want to overload the scrapyard, so what we might do is just do a couple more here. We'll do 3, I think. And then we'll replace these as well. 1, 2, 3. This probably needs a slightly wider bow range as well. Let me just check. How old are you? You're 21 years old. Okay, so these are aging out relatively quickly. Let's have a look at our auto replacement list. Yeah, it aged out in May. Right, we got a NAM 8111. If I just want to check something, because that's saying that a personal car is, and that means that somewhere I'm developing, well, it's saying it should be replaced by that. Let's see, this car, no, they're all, I'm not exactly sure what that actually means. Horse stables. Oh, these are private vehicles. That's a private vehicle that's aged out. So it wasn't replaced. I must admit, I'm not exactly too sure how private vehicles actually work, but okay. Okay, happiness is starting to decrease again. Our happiness is, our health is at 90%. Maybe it's time for a increased birth rate, decreased birth rate. Okay, so the birth rate has got back to normal. How many over 20 ones have I got? 1,143. See, I'm very reluctant at the moment to keep bringing in the workforce here. I think what we will do is get more of the I think I would like to start building in. Actually, this one, I don't think we actually need that. This one can be built by the locals because, okay, there's no road connection at the moment. Okay, so that's fine. I want this built, that built. We just, no, that's an overlap, so we can't join that. I think we need to build this out. Okay, we're going to need a distribution office up here as well, come to think of it, or some kind of distribution office. Now, actually, what I would like to do is build that and that. In fact, we're going to push the priority up on here. Yeah, I think if we can use this as some form of storage, we might be able to get things going a little bit better here. Build these in, and then we can use this as at least some kind of storage. If I can get this rail line connected, we can then start sending the waste down out this way. Again, we've got this kind of patch here that's oops, I keep pressing. Yeah, so we need this electrified as well. Okay. Yeah, I think I need to, I was pushing this area, but my instinct now is to push out this way, try and get this area built first. One, it means we can bring up some steel up here, which will cut our costs. And also it means that we might be able to set up something to import electronics and mechanical components from here. I know it will actually cost us money. Have we actually exported any bitumen yet? Let me just have a look. Exports to, no. Okay, so we're going to need to keep an eye on that. I'm aware that I'm running out of time, so I think just going to check this good old Mao. He's doing a grand job actually. I think my average loyalty seems to have topped out around 76%, which is good. Yeah, we got this being built here. Our waste processing here is doing quite well. The one that seems to be a little bit in balance is the actual hazardous waste. Just to show you our new town. Oops, what we got here. What's happened here? Do I have a... Okay, we've got a problem here with the signals with respect to okay, what's up with this? You should be coming in here. You come up here, you come up here, come up here. Okay, let me just go back down to here. This is all electrification. Let me just double check. I haven't left any gaps or anything, have I? Oh, that'd be embarrassing. No. Have I got any gaps here? It seems to... No. This is all... I mean, this is not broken up because it would show a power line here, so this shouldn't be a problem. That is connected. That's definitely there, there, and there. Anyway, guys, this is a bit of a conundrum. So what I'm going to do is I'll look into that off camera because it is a potential source of confusion. As you can see, these trains are coming up and down quite happily. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.